Grambling State hiring Hugh Jackson so far has been a great move. Recruiting has increased tenfold. And if you follow a pattern, Hugh Jackson is getting taller receivers. And if he's getting undersized receivers, he's getting undersized receivers who are lightning fast. I see what he's doing, and I'm impressed, and I'll chime in.
We're here for a reason because we want to reclaim what's really ours. We should own the I-20 corridor, as you just mentioned, and we're going to do everything we can to do that. But in order to do that, we need all the coaches and all the players here, because since I've been here, all I've heard is that we don't recruit the area. Well, we're here, and we're going to be here, and we're going to plant our flag here, and we're challenging all the coaches and all the student athletes that are on the I-20 to come on out here and see what kind of staff we have, come and see what we're trying.
Speeches like that can make you run through a wall, can make you the most competitive football player on that field on that given Saturday. Hugh Jackson is creating something special at Grambling State, and I've always told you all that the blue bloods of all HBCUs have to be dominant. They have to. Grambling State, FAMU, Jackson State, Southern. Those programs have to be on top, for starters, because you want to not only have one dominant team in the Swac, but multiple dominant teams in the Swac. That's what I envision. And if that sounds like hope, so be it. But I hope that happens. Wouldn't it be amazing to see 4 or even 5 one day? If we see 4 teams in the SWAC be ranked in the top 25. But for that to happen, each school has to take care of their business in non-conference. Now, I'm not talking about when you play against the LSUs or Ohio States or Notre Dames of FBS football. I'm talking about when you play mano-a-mano, top-tier FCS teams or lower-level FBS teams. Handle business. So if you look at Hugh Jackson, he runs a lot of multiple sets on offense and likes to expose the mismatches of opposing defenses. If you look closely to his recruiting class, the one thing that stands out is there's a lot of size, a lot of height on the wide receiver core. And you could just start with Faison Wilson from Lancaster, Texas. Shout out to the state of Texas, my home state. Lancaster has been known to producing a lot of talented D1 prospects. But the crazy thing about Faison is when he committed to UT, I think a year and a half or 2 years ago, he had a 81 overall grade on ESPN, which ranks you a 4-star. And then he had a 4-star grade in many other sites. But all of a sudden, he decommitted from UT. And then a year later, he commits to Grambling State. All of a sudden, he went from a 4-star to a 3-star. And we see the game that recruiting sites do on a daily, especially when the D1 prospect commits to HBCU. They did the same thing with Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter was, no doubt, the #1 player in the country, bar none, throughout the whole year. Some say 2 years. And as soon as he committed to Jackson State, you saw the rest. They moved him to #2 overall. Those are the games that they play. Now, there were a bunch of shines making excuses to why it happened, but they don't fool me. But let me stay on subject. Faison Wilson will be integral on what Hugh Jackson would design on offense. I'm sure in the red zone, be on the lookout because he has a high vertical and a high catch radius. And he played against top-notch talent in 5A Texas high school football. So he's battle-tested. Then you talk about Tyson Bordeaux, who played at Cal Poly, 6'5", 185 pounds. And the exciting part about him, he's a young senior. Really, he's supposed to be a junior or upcoming senior, that is. He's supposed to be still in high school. But he's a smart kid, and he has ample amount of talent. Played against top-notch California competition. And you know Poly, they always produce not only great college players, but future pros. And he's been working very hard. Now, again, you'll look at this video and say, oh, these are just 3 stars or high 3 stars. But it's about scheme and fit. And they know that a lot of HBCU DBs are not tall, are not like FAMU and Jackson State DBs, not all of them. So when you have a big, tall, aggressive wide receiver on a one-on-one 50-50 ball, Grambling State likes their chances. But I give credit to Grambling State because they will go into the transfer portal on some needs, but not all of their needs. And they're solving their problems with high school prospects. Here's another one. A receiver from Garland, Texas, played at Newman Forest High School. Brisson Huey, 6'4", 205 pounds. Now, if you look at his stats, he had a whopping 15 yards per catch. So that tells you that he could fade one up. Explosive wide receiver. I don't know why he wasn't recruited much more. But then again, he played at a team that was run first. So if you look at his stats, you can tell that if he was playing on those passing teams like Allen and Cedar Hill, DeSoto, he would have had more numbers. But that's what they're working with. So when you play against the Jackson State defensive back unit, and you know they got all that height and speed, you got to add more tall, rangy receivers. So when you could just toss it up on the end zone, you never know. You can't get lucky and get a touchdown. Edward Smith, he's another tall receiver. The list goes on. Michael White, transferred from TCU, 6'5", 185. Like, I'll have all day going through this list. Now, there's one undersized wide receiver, Ryan Pippins, who was Mr. Alabama, very explosive, committed to Utah, decommitted the last moment, and signed with Grambling State. He's another wide receiver that's going to be utilized on this offense. And he has a chance to put up some big-time numbers. But I'm excited about this team. I'm excited on the direction they're going to have. Grambling State fans, you've been hitting me up on my DM saying, hey, we're going to make more content. I'm going to make more content. All you have to do is send me some information on Grambling. What do you want me to talk about? And I'll make the video. Any school, whether it's Grambling, FAMU, Alcorn, Texas Southern, Prairie View A&M, the list goes on. Southern. Let me know what to talk about, and I'll make a video about it. And before I go, Graham fam, don't worry about the quarterback position. I think it's going to get solved in camp. Someone's going to stand out. Remember, this offense is new. And Hugh Jackson's playbook is not simplistic. You have to think, which is a good thing. It will pay off in the long run. But I'm excited about this team. They have some things to work on, just like every other team. But they have things that are better than most Swac teams. They have a good O-line. They have stable backs. And now they have tall, rangy receivers. But shout out to all of Grambling State fans. You have a team to be proud of. And I'll be rooting for you guys when you play against Arkansas State. I hope you can pull off the victory. 100 more days, I believe, or probably less than that. Not 100 more days, but 80-something more days. Correct me if I'm wrong, until college football starts. This is RawTruth Media. Peace and blessings, and I'm out.